Hi everyone, how are you all doing? So this week, yes, I found some more DVDs to show you. It's a mixture this week of mostly movies that I have found in thrift stores, but also Videomatica, which is a video store that's here in Vancouver. They were having a sale on yesterday and they have some used DVDs that were part of their sale. So I picked up a few there as well. But okay, let's get into this. First up, very pleased to find this. Quite an unusual find. This is Wonderland. This is a British film directed by Michael Winterbottom, who has done a lot of work with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon, such as their Trip movies. But yeah, this is an earlier film that he made back in the 90s with a really good British cast that includes Gina McKee here, Shirley Henderson, Ian Hart, John Sim. So yeah, really good character actors from the UK. So yeah, I don't think I've seen this, or if I have, it was a long time ago. So but yeah, very pleased to find this. I'm very pleased to find this one, the Jesse Owens story. This was made in 1984, stars Dorian Harewood here as Jesse Owens, the Olympic runner who ran in the 1936 Berlin Olympics and kind of put Hitler's nose out of joint by winning a few gold medals. But yeah, I've wanted to see this. There was a version that came out a few years ago called Race, but I really liked Dorian Harewood when I was just a young lad, and Dorian Harewood was in a few movies that I sort of connected to pretty quickly. One is a movie that I'm still the only person to have reviewed it on Letterboxd, and that film is called Siege. And then there's another film called Panic in Echo Park. So yeah, I just thought Dorian Harewood was really cool. He's also starred in Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. You might remember him from that. But yeah, the Jesse Owens story. This was a made-for-TV movie from 1984, and yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Next up, we've got Tobe Hooper's sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this one starring Dennis Hopper. It's meant to have quite a bonkers reputation. I've never actually seen this, but yeah, I look forward to checking it out. And then we have Ghost Story. This is one I haven't seen in a very long time. So yeah, some veteran actors in here that include Fred Astaire and Melvin Douglas and John Houseman. Patricia Neal is also in the cast. So yeah, ghostly tales in this one from 1981, directed by John Irvin and with Jack Cardiff on cinematography duties. Next up, and it's Susan Sarandon and James Spader in White Palace. Again, haven't seen this in a long time. Yeah, directed by Louis Mandoki, 1990, I think this came out. Next, Child's Play. Can you believe I haven't seen Child's Play? I know everyone's raving about it at the moment because I think it's had some Vinegar Syndrome release. I was watching someone's video just the other day and they said they spent about $160 on all of the Child's Play movies. Well, $2 for this one, and this'll do me. And directed by Percy Adlon. This is Baghdad Cafe, that includes Jack Palance in the cast as well. Now this one here, the cover here might suggest that it's a sort of more recent kind of movie, but actually this is a 1974 limited series TV show, and it's an adaptation of a Francis Durbridge murder mystery. So I picked this one up. I hadn't heard of this, but I've picked it up because when I was younger, I certainly used to go to a theatre that would regularly show Francis Durbridge murder mystery adaptations, and they were just quite good fun. So yeah, hopefully this will be enjoyable. Now, I've talked before about two beautiful films that are Marcel Panol adaptations, Jean de Florette and Manon des Sources, and so I'm very pleased to have picked up these two as well, La Gloire de mon père and Le Château de ma mère, My Father's Glory and My Mother's Castle. So yeah, these were sort of follow-up movies, if you like, still based on memoirs from Marcel Panol. Not as classic as Jean de Florette and Manon des Sources, but still pretty beautiful movies, so I look forward to seeing these again. Don't think I've seen this, but I certainly used to go to Brick Lane for the curries. This is Brick Lane, directed by Sarah Gavron. Now, when I had Netflix, I did watch this. It was a load of trash, but sometimes you're just in the mood for trash. And so I got Unhinged here with Russell Crowe with a bit of road rage. Next up, and it's Ruben Östlund's Force Majeure, which was remade with Will Ferrell as well. Now, when I saw this originally, I didn't really take to it too much, but I'm going to give it another go because I did really like Triangle of Sadness. So yeah, I'm prepared to give Force Majeure another go. Now, this is one where I recognise the title, but I haven't seen it. I just remember it coming out, and it did get Oscar nominated as Best Foreign Language Film, Prisoner of the Mountain. This is a Russian film directed by Sergei Bodrov about two Russian soldiers who are taken hostage by Chechen guerrillas. Next, you may remember Steven Soderbergh's Traffic winning the Oscar back in about 1991. Well, before that, there was this TV series, Traffic. So this is where it all stemmed from, 1989. This was on Channel 4. So yeah, pleased to now have this. It stars the very excellent Bill Patterson, an English actor who is a really terrific actor. Julia Ormond is also in this. So yeah, very pleased to have this set. Next, I pick up Carry On movies as and when I can, and here we have Carry On Spying and Carry On Cabby. So Carry On Spying is a bit of a James Bond spoof, but instead of going after Spectre, they're going after Stench, and Barbara Windsor makes her Carry On debut in this film as Miss Honeybutt. Next, this was a really terrific series, The Fall, with Gillian Anderson going after a serial killer played by Jamie Dornan. Really tense, really atmospheric. I really enjoyed this series. This is all three series on here. So yeah, I'll be glad to watch this one again. It was very good. Next, and it's a Joseph Losey film that friend of the channel, Solitary Ronin Films, has been talking about. And it's Boom, or Boom, as he might say on his channel. So yeah, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, directed by Joseph Losey, based on a play by Tennessee Williams, score by John Barry. It's all meant to be quite crazy. It has quite a reputation to it, and it seems to be an either love or hate kind of film. Apparently John Waters' favourite film, but we shall see. Next, I mentioned Michael Winterbottom earlier with Wonderland, and I was pleased to find this one, The Trip to Spain. I've got all of the other Trip movies except this one, so I was glad to now find this. I really love the Trip movies. I think they're really good fun. Next, pleased to find this. I hadn't heard of this before. This is Warica. So this is three 90-minute dramas that star Bill Nighy. This is a sort of MI5 type drama, a bit in the John le Carré style. But yeah, a real star cast in all of these episodes that includes Ralph Fiennes, Helena Bonham Carter, Michael Gambon, Felicity Jones, Winona Ryder, Christopher Walken, Rachel Weisz, Olivia Williams. So yeah, pretty starry cast here. I was just watching Bill Nighy the other day in Living, which is the adaptation of Ikiru. Pretty good movie. Still Ikiru is easily the better film, but it was an interesting film for sure. Next, Small Town Crime. This one stars John Hawkes and Robert Forster and Octavia Spencer, who also acts as a executive producer on this. Now, I must admit, I did have this slightly muddled. There's another film that John Hawkes has made with Robert Forster that's called Too Late, which is done in a whole series of extended takes, and I really liked that film. So I have seen Small Town Crime, but I've got it a little bit muddled at the moment, so I need to watch it again and see how I feel about it. Next, don't really see this one around, but going back to the 90s, great cover there with Jamie Lee Curtis, Mother's Boys. And next, a Jacques Rivette film. So I've talked on this channel before about La Belle Noiseuse, a really excellent Jacques Rivette film. I have picked up Love on the Ground. A friend of the channel, Roger Kirby, I know he likes Jacques Rivette. He's talked about a number of Jacques Rivette films on his channel. But yeah, pleased to find this one, Gang of Four. And then finally, going back to the silent era, I found this one, The Iron Horse, which is a John Ford film from 1924 about the establishment of the railroad. This was a big hit back in 1924. John Ford did make a follow-up movie which didn't do so well, and then he didn't make another film until he came into the talkies and did Stagecoach in 1939. But this is meant to be quite a classic and quite an epic. I really look forward to seeing this one with scenes recreating the establishment of the railroad, and great poster on this as well. Okay, another week of mixed finds. Let me know what you think about those movies. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing that. Please do join me again for some more videos. I've got more to come. All the best to you. I hope your week is going well. Have a good weekend, what's left of it, and I will see you again, hopefully. All the best. Bye-bye.